Interesting things you didn't know existed. Doctors in Brazil created a 3D ultrasound printer so that blind people can see their babies. Apparently, blind people be fucking. These traffic lights in India make it easier for people to see when the lights' colors change. That's cause nobody be paying attention anymore, so they gotta light up the whole shit. There's a place named the Corpus Museum, and it allows you to take a trip through the entire human body. My meat took a trip through your girl's body. A Japanese designer named Yasuhiro Suzuki made a giant zipper and turned it into a boat. What the fuck? Disturbing facts. All humans come from the same one ancestor, from millions of years ago. That means we're all related to each other. Your parents are cousins. If your head ever gets chopped off, your brain will stay active for another 15 minutes. If your killer decides to fuck your dead body, you can still watch. When chainsaws were first invented, their real purpose was to cut open pregnant women and help deliver their babies. If the babies got hurt in the process, oh well, shouldn't have been in there. Animal facts. When whales get old, they get too weak to swim to the ocean surface for air, causing them to suffocate underwater and die. Good job, dickhead. You're a fish that drowns. When a male giraffe is horny, he will choose a random female and beat her until she pees. Then he'll taste her piss to see if she's able to have kids. My son is a freak. Baby pigeons actually do exist, even though we never see them in the open. They look just like this. I would hide my kids too if they look like that. Facts about the human body. When people have sex, it makes their brain cells grow at a more healthy rate. This explains why the adults nowadays are dumb as hell. Stop watching porn. Go outside and fuck. When you breathe air from your nose, you're only using one nostril every single time, so there's no point of us having two of them. Also, men who grow beards easier are going to go bald a lot earlier in life. That's because all their hair growth is being used on their face, instead of where it should be used. Your goddamn head. You just realized these today. In the Monsters Inc. movie, this monster has a white sock on his back, and the Hazard Squad attacked him for it. They were screaming, "We have a 2319. The 23rd letter in the alphabet is W. The 19th letter is S. WS stands for white sock. What the fuck? Also, M&M's made it official that the green M&M and the brown M&M characters are in a relationship with each other, making them a lesbian couple. No one actually gives a shit though, because Skittles is already the gay candy. Everyone thinks that Goofy is a dog, but Disney announced that he's actually a cow. That makes no sense though, because all cows are female, and Goofy is not a female. He's definitely got a wiener and two balls. These are the dumbest things that humans have done. Scientists from NASA got a hold of a spider, and they fed the spider hardcore drugs. They did this just to see how the spider's webs would look while it was tripping balls. That shit has absolutely nothing to do with space. Also, there was a New Year's celebration in Italy, and they had tons of fireworks. The explosions from the fireworks were so big that it knocked hundreds of birds out of the sky and killed them. Fried chicken. There was a theme park in Australia that got shut down years ago. They emptied out the whole place, but they forgot to take the shark with them. It was stuck there, swimming in its own piss and shit, and then it died. That's funny as fuck. Human body facts. When a man passes away, their body still has the ability to get an erection, and it happens randomly, even with no soul in his body. My son is still thinking about ass. Also, when people hug each other, it releases chemicals in their brain, and these chemicals lower your stress, heals wounds faster, and helps you live a longer life. So when people be like, "Where's my hug at?" they're literally trying their best not to die. And last but not least, if you sit for more than 11 hours a day, you have a high chance of dying sooner. That's because humans are naturally active, and they're not meant to be sitting down all day. So if you're in a wheelchair, you should probably get up and walk around a little bit. Animal facts you didn't know. Sometimes, if there's more than one shark in a mother's stomach, they will fight to the death, eating each other so only one can be born. Now you're an only child. And you're a murderer. You're not gonna have no friends. When humans started using cats as pets, the cat's brain started shrinking in size. That's because cats don't use them anymore. All they do is eat, sleep, and leave the crib smelling like piss. Also, jellyfish are the only animals that can live forever. They get to watch the sun explode. A lot of bears have been carrying a new disease. The disease is called mange, and it causes them to lose all the hair on their bodies. I'm not gonna lie, you need some fucking lotion, bro. You just realized these today. When the president walks around with a security guard, one of the security guards always has a fake arm. His real arm is tucked underneath his suit. That's because he's holding a big ass gun. Also, this is a photo from the early 1980s. This guy is posing with all his cool devices. What's funny is, our cell phones today have all these things built in them and more. He thought he was the shit. And last but not least, when you close your eyes, the color you're seeing is not black. The color is called Eigengrau. I almost had a stroke trying to pronounce that. But close your eyes and try it out. That shit is actually correct. People that actually exist. This Korean woman was in love with plastic surgery. When she got her first surgery, she liked the feeling it gave her, so she kept on doing more. Many surgeries later, the doctors stopped helping her out though. Something told them that she was making a mistake. Clearly the doctors were wrong, so the woman hit the streets to find other people to help her out. When she ran out of money, she had nothing left, but she still wanted to do more surgeries. She had no choice but to do them on herself. This woman fell in love with her face so much, but somewhere deep down, she felt like she was making a mistake. Eventually, people all over the world helped her raise money so that she could bring her old face back. Doctors told her they could only do one last surgery on her. This is her natural face compared to her new face. You can barely tell the difference. Animal facts you didn't know. A rabbit's favorite food is not actually carrots. That whole idea came from Bugs Bunny, which is just a cartoon. If you feed a rabbit just carrots for his entire life, that motherfucker's gonna die early. Also, sometimes parrots will fall deeply in love with their owners. They love their owners so much that they'll start acting like parasites, plucking out their own feathers and even killing themselves if the owner is gone for too long. Does Polly want to chill the fuck out? And last but not least, male mosquitoes don't drink any blood at all. They only eat nectar from flowers. That means the only mosquitoes you ever see biting on people are the female ones. You should start being more like your boyfriend, you blood-sucking bitch. These are facts from around the world. In 2008, Japan's population was getting too low, and they needed to make more kids, so during that time, companies forced all their employees to leave work early so they can go have raw sex. Also, in New York City, there's a clock that's counting down the doomsday for global warming. When that clock reaches zero, there's no way we can reverse climate change. We're all gonna be fucked. And last but not least, when babies are born in China, there's no such thing as 0 years old. They consider the baby to be 1 year old as soon as it comes out the womb. But really, that doesn't even make any sense. The baby just came out, so how's it already 1? I thought you people were supposed to be smart. People that actually exist. This man is Michael Latito, and he was born with a very strange ability. Eating things that no one is supposed to. He ate an airplane and got in the Guinness Book of World Records. What the fuck? Also, this lady got hit by a meteorite, and she survived. It made direct contact with her leg and left a huge mark. Whoever threw that shit got good aim. And last but not least, this guy has the craziest luck. He used to smoke cigarettes every day, but he forced himself to quit because he didn't want to die. When he stopped buying cigarettes, he saved all his money for a new car. As soon as he got the car, he instantly crashed it and died. The dumbest things that people have done. In the early 1900s, if a soldier ever got his nose blown off, the doctors wouldn't know how to fix it. They didn't know how to make new noses yet, so they would cut off one of the soldier's fingers and make that his brand new nose. Squidward. Also, around that same time period, the government would let you put your baby in the mail, and you could send them to anybody in the US. But since they had a shitty mail system, the babies would go missing all the time. That's jokes. People that live in Dubai get paid just for being skinny. Every time someone loses weight, the government of Dubai pays them in raw gold. The kids in Africa will be fucking billionaires. People that actually exist. This Chinese woman was left heartbroken after a tragic event. Her son was getting married one day and the whole thing was going fine. But when they announced the name of the wife, the mom realized it was her long lost daughter that she hadn't seen for decades. So her son and her daughter just got married to each other. They probably had sex mad times. Also, this is Mohammed Bashir. He was in a plane crash that killed everyone aboard, except him. On that very same day, Mohammed went home and bought a lottery ticket. And then he won. He should have been dead, but now he's a fucking millionaire. And lastly, this is Elvita Adams, a woman who tried to take her own life. She climbed the top of the Empire State Building and then jumped right off. But since it was windy that day, the wind blew her back onto the building. She broke some of her bones, but she's still alive. Fail. These are things you just realized. Supermarkets never put clocks on their walls. That's because they don't want their customers keeping track of time. They want you to stay in the store as long as possible and buy up all the shit. Also, the reason that babies cry at night is so parents can't have any sex. If you don't have sex, then you can't make any more kids. So Junior is being a fucking attention whore. If you ever noticed, only women get hired as flight attendants and not men. That's because women are lighter than men, so they don't use up all the gas in the plane. And lastly, dentists always tell you that eating candy is bad, but they're the ones who invented cotton candy. They made it so that you'll ruin your teeth and you have to keep paying to get them fixed. So the next time you visit your dentist, smack the fuck out of that people you never knew existed. This is Josephine Myrtle. She was born with 4 legs and 2 pairs of genitals. Even though she had this deformity, she still got married and even has 6 kids. Her husband knows what it feels like to fuck Squidward. This woman is Princess Kajar, the symbol of beauty in Persia. Persian people think she's so beautiful that 13 men took their own lives just because she didn't want to marry them. And lastly, this is David Bennett, the first person to live with a pig's heart in his body. He was in need of a serious heart transplant, so doctors used a pig's heart because their DNA is close to humans. They successfully made the transplant for David, and after 2 months with his brand new heart, he died. Life hacks you didn't know. If you have a problem smoking cigarettes and you want an easy way to quit, just go to a sauna and sit there. All of the nicotine will sweat out of your body, making you less addicted to the cancer sticks. Studies show that if you sleep all day for 1 day a week and do nothing else, it will reduce your stress, lower your blood pressure, and lessen your chances of a heart attack for the rest of your life. Also, if you have wrinkles on your body, you can put milk on them and the wrinkles will go away. That's because milk is good for skin and bones, and everyone knows that. Get rid of any unwanted wrinkles, grab a carton of milk, and go stupid with that bitch. The weirdest things that ever happened to people. In 1953, a man was flying a fighter jet at an extremely dangerous speed. He was flying so fast that when he started shooting bullets from his jet, the jet was moving faster than the bullets, so he ended up shooting himself. He died. One day, this guy was bitten by a venomous snake, but he ended up surviving the bite and no one knows how. As revenge, the man jokingly bit the snake back, and the snake died. Also, a woman in France tried to take her own life one day by jumping off the Eiffel Tower. Unfortunately, she crash landed on someone's car and lived. The person who owned the car was upset at first, but he ended up forgiving her, and eventually they got married to each other. That's God's way of saying, if you pray for a girlfriend, he'll give you one. These are things you've never seen before. This person was born with no nails on their fingers or toes. This is from a disease called anonesia. It causes people to have a hard time doing simple things. Scratching your ass is impossible. Speaking of diseases, this chimpanzee has no fur on her body, and she has more muscle than an average human man. She suffers from a disease called alopecia, making her go entirely bald. G.I. Jane 2 can't wait to see. And lastly, this is Barack Obama's daughter. She can be seen working at fast food restaurants all the time. Their family doesn't make White House money anymore, so they have to work at McDonald's. Like fucking bums. These are the worst things that ever happened to people. A 17-year-old from Mexico was accidentally killed by his own girlfriend. They were out making love one day, and she tried to give him a hickey, but the whole time, she was biting a vein on his neck. This cut off all the circulation to his brain, and then he died. Also, a suicide bomber from Somalia snuck onto a plane one day to kill everyone aboard. When he set off his bomb, it blew a giant hole in the plane. The suicide bomber got sucked through the hole, and he died. No one else died. This woman from London was found dead in her apartment. She was rotting away on her couch for the past 3 years. Her TV was powered on that whole entire time. This means her electricity bill was higher than Snoop Dogg.